Hello, everyone, and welcome to Dial the Gate. My name is David Reed. I am so excited I'm genuinely excited to be joined this hour by Miss Bonnie Bartlett, who was Linea in Stargate SG-1. And I know her from so much else, as do you. Before we bring her in, if you enjoy the content that we put out on this show and you want to see more of it, please consider clicking that like button. It makes a difference with YouTube and will help the show continue to grow into its third season, which will be starting this fall. We're about to go on break. Please also consider sharing this video with a Stargate friend. And if you want to get notified about future episodes, click the subscribe icon. And giving the bell icon a click will notify you the moment a new video drops, and you'll get my notifications of any last-minute guest changes. And clips from this live stream will be released over the course of the next few weeks on the Dial the Gate and GateWorld.net YouTube channels. As this is a live episode, Bonnie and I are going to sit here and talk for a little bit. While we do that, my moderators in YouTube will be collecting questions from fans, so go ahead and get those to the moderators now. And in the second half of the show, I'll submit some of those questions over to Bonnie, so we will have a talk. And let's go ahead and bring her in. Bonnie Bartlett, Linea of Stargate SG-1, and so much else throughout so many great decades of television. Thank you so much for being here. It is an honor to have you.
Oh, thank you for asking me to be here.
How are you doing? How are things going?
Pretty well. I just had a birthday this last week.
Happy 93rd.
93rd birthday.
Happy birthday. Are you a Cancer?
What?
Are you a Cancer?
Gemini.
You're a Gemini. Oh, I'm a Cancer. My birthday's coming up in early July. So
yeah, no,
almost.
I'm a Gemini.
What do you attribute your continuing to putter along and continuing good health? What would you contribute that to?
Part of it, of course, has to be genes.
Yeah.
I mean, your genes really do help you to go.
Mm-hmm.
I have never been addicted to anything. I don't drink. And never have. Tested it once in a while, but I've never been addicted to anything like that. I'm just like, I like to work. That's the main thing I like to do. Some kind of project. And I love to learn. I'm a perpetual student. I could have stayed in school my whole life and been very happy because I love that. I loved school, which is, I guess, rare for an actor. But anyway, I did love school. I exercise a lot. I did ballet until just a few years ago. I did a ballet bar until just a couple of years ago. And have done that my whole adult life, 2-3 times a week. Gone to a ballet class. Never been a professional dancer, but just the ballet class is a very good thing. Dancers, go ahead. No, dancers.
Yeah.
Dancers, when they are professional, sometimes are hard on their body. But taking a bar is not hard on your body. It's good for your body.
How much would you also attribute it to William? And happy 73 years of marriage, by the way.
Right. One man. I think when I hear about people getting married many times, I just think, oh, I'm exhausted. I mean, that would just exhaust me. You have so much work to do just with one person. How can you have 3 or 4 or 5 or whatever? I mean, that appalls me. That it just appalls me because it takes a lot of work, a relationship. And I mean, and you can't give up.
Yeah.
I mean, I had no reason to ever really give up. I had a lot of strain at times, much strain, but never wanting to give up, either one of us.
I think it's such a testament to your commitment to one another when you see the typical thing in Hollywood, you go to someone's page and learn about them, and they were married 5 times over 5 decades, and it's like, it's so wonderful to see two people who are just a match, and
We were lucky.
Yeah.
We've been lucky, very lucky. Yeah, I met Bill when I was 18. We've been married 71 years, but
71.
we were together 3 or 4 years before that.
Wow.
Probably 4 years before that. It just one of those magic things that happens to people.
What is something special about him that you love?
About Bill?
Yeah.
A lot of things, but I guess his innate sense of humor, his innate humor. He makes me laugh almost every day. Maybe not so much now, but I'm very intense, very intense. And he can always come up with, he'll say things like, and he uses things from a play, like 1,000 Clowns. He was in 1,000 Clowns,
Okay.
The play and the movie, and he will quote those lines. You missed the funny part, Ma. You missed the funny part, or says a lot of things from that, and from everything. He just quotes things. He does Shakespeare just like my father sometimes, but not as much as my father.
Wow. Does he like to learn as well?
He didn't know how to learn until he learned. He wasn't scholastic until he met me. And I realized, he didn't know how to go to school. He had no education, really, basically, except for 2 years at music and art. He got into there, and then his mother made him quit because he got a job, and they wouldn't let him. But other than those 2 years, which were wonderful years for him, and he hated leaving the school. But other than that, he had no real education until he came to Northwestern, and he didn't know how to be a student, So
I had to figure it out. Yeah.
He had to figure it out with my help because I was a super student, valedictorian, and all of that.
Wow.
But by the time we graduated, he was the one who got the scholarship for a master's. He was the one who was A+, higher than me even, because he's smart. He was born with it.
You can't teach curiosity. If you are curious about the world and want to see what's under the hood in any topic, you're going to have an edge over a lot of people who just take things for granted.
You're right. And I came from a community that mostly did take things for granted. They just wanted to stay in their little town. And because I wanted to be an actress, I wanted to get out. But Bill was forced to work as a child, but the New York Times is his Bible. From the time he was a little boy till today, he has to have the New York Times every day. And that was his education as a child, was the New York Times. Yeah.
Wow.
That was his education.
Bonnie, who throughout the years, from little girl on up, who have been your mentors? Who have been the people who have really shaped you into the person that you've become?
Well, I had a wonderful grandma, Norwegian, and she was just a wonderful lady, non-judgmental, but terribly moral, but non-judgmental of other people. And she was somebody that I really, really, your lights are going on and off.
Yeah, I'm switching pages. Go right ahead.
Okay. So anyway, she was wonderful. And then in high school, I had a marvelous teacher in Moline High School.
Okay.
In Moline, Illinois. Her name was Barbara Garst, and she was a great teacher. She was an English teacher, and she was the drama person. She did all the plays. She discovered me, and she was a great teacher. And she would do things like, I remember in English class, she'd say, look, you tell me what grade you want and I'll tell you what you have to do to get it. And that's the way she said. So a lot of people that don't want to do a lot of work would say, I'll take a B. And of course I wanted an A plus. So she worked me to death. But, you know, very few people said C, but a lot of people said B. A lot of people said B. A B is fine. And I wouldn't do that, of course. But
a B is, but that's the point. A B is just fine. Don't you want to be great at something? If someone sticks it in front of you and gives you the opportunity to say, here is I'm giving you the choice here and now. What do you want? That's
right. Wow. That's right. That's what she did, which was, I thought, great. And then she loved the theater and she loved the plays, and she, you know, we did Macbeth, which we had no business doing, you know, but we did it. And we did all kinds of plays from start to finish. And I was in all of them.
Were you Lady Macbeth?
Oh, yes.
Oh, what a great role.
And then I played it again in college with Bill.
Oh, wow.
Bill and I did
Macbeth. She steals the show. she is the politician, man.
Yeah.
Jeez.
Right. Anyway, good.
Who else?
Well, I have to say Lee Strasberg, because I studied with him for actually 8 years. I was his kind of an assistant for part of those years. And he meant a great deal to me in terms of acting. Personally, he kind of hurt me, but I'm tough and I can take that. But he gave me a different perspective on how it was to be on a stage, how it was to really be there, you know, so that, yeah, you're pretending, but you're really there. It's you. And I learned from him to do that, which works very much in film. Although he was helping you in the theater, basically, his working with him helped me tremendously on film. I'm
curious, did the relationship in terms of molding you to become the actress you became, the pain that you received from him, did you have to push through that to achieve what you wanted? Or did it make you stronger?
Well, it's a tough one for me, because in the end, he kind of didn't stand up for me and it hurt me. But I was able to say, because I was starting a family.
Yeah.
And that became the most important thing in my life, much more than acting. That gave me a tremendous strength. We had lost a baby and we adopted, and they were wonderful and they've been wonderful. And that gave me such a pleasure, such enjoyment watching these two boys grow up, you know, that it gave me, when we came to California and I started doing a lot of film work, it didn't matter. And because it didn't matter, it mattered. Do you follow that?
Yeah.
Because it didn't matter anymore. And I knew what to do, and I looked great, and I got a lot of jobs, and I started working a lot, and acting became secondary to my life, because my life was with my family. My main life was with my family.
That doesn't mean that when you were doing it, you couldn't be excellent at it, though. Because, you know, you watch a lot of performers today, they struggle with whether or not they're going to have a family or focus on their work. And you're a testament that you can do both well.
Oh, you can do both. Yes. Yeah. Yes. But for instance, in the theater, when I was called away to work in the theater, you go someplace for several weeks. that was very hard for me to do, leaving my babies, my
Mhm.
boys. I didn't want to do that. I was miserable. Lanford Wilson's play, Lemon Sky. I was with Charlie Durning and a wonderful actor, Chris Walker. What?
Christopher Walken.
Chris Walken.
Always count on your kids, Bonnie.
Yeah,
Always count
he
on
was just starting.
them.
And he was
Wow.
wonderful. He was very young. And it was Lemon Sky, Lanford Wilson. And part of me enjoyed doing it, and part of me loved watching him work. Part of it was wonderful, but there was a part of me that had to get on a bus on Sunday night and get back to my kids. And one of my children got up in bed one time and he said, "Mommy, where are you? Where have you been? I call for you every night and you're not there."
Oh, no.
Yes, he did that to me. And
Oh, it's the last thing I need to hear when I'm doing the job.
yes, exactly. But I did eventually enjoy it, and eventually, and it was a wonderful play, and it was a wonderful success.
Do they, as adults, understand and appreciate the sacrifices that you made?
I don't think they think of it as sacrifices.
Okay.
No, I don't think they think of it that way at all. I mean, they're good guys, and we love each other, and they help me and I help them, and it's a good family. It's a good family. It's a good relationships. The boys get along with each other, and they all get along with Bill, and and I think they understand. Having lived a long time, they understand how lucky Bill has been.
Yeah.
They do understand that, because they know what life is like out there, and they understand that he's very talented and so forth, but they also understand that he's been a lucky guy.
Mm-hmm.
And they appreciate anything we do for them, of course. Education, they appreciate that, and helping to educate their kids. They all appreciate education. Let me put it that way. Yeah, they do, and so they appreciate us for that.
Stage performances, film performances, television. What are one or two roles that gave you something that you didn't expect to receive as a human being, as a person? Either the documents, the material that you were reading, or the relationships that you got from being surrounded by the players that you were at the time. What are a couple of roles that really did that for you, that have withstood the test of time in your memory and helped shape you?
Strangely enough, one of the first things that did that was at Northwestern.
Okay.
When I was a freshman, I played Barbara Allen in Dark of the Moon. And she's a very sexy Southern, it brought out all of that in me. I had so much fun. And I was so pleased that people liked it so much. I won the award that year. And she was just an out there girl. And I have to tell you a story about my grandma.
Please.
The grandma that I was, she came to see the play at Northwestern. So afterwards I said, "Grandma, what did you think? What did you think of the play? What did you like?" She says, "Well, I could tell at the very beginning that you were not playing a very nice girl." Well, I just shut my eyes and slept. She wouldn't watch it. She just closed her eyes and slept through the play. And I loved that.
But you loved that.
Oh,
I would have been so distressed.
No, I don't care.
Okay.
No, I wasn't distressed. I thought it was funny because I thought, well, that's Grandma. In other words, she was, and my brother came to see it, and he said, sis, I forgot who you were.
Yeah.
I forgot you were my sister. And it's the best thing he ever said to me. And
You disappeared into the performance.
yeah. So that was very important for me. And the fact that it was the first time I kind of realized that I was attractive on stage.
Uh-huh.
That was important, very important, because I always played older parts and character parts and stuff like that. And this was a really sexy, full Southern mount. I love playing those parts, by the way, in the mountains. And, I love those people. I love playing those parts. So that was very important. Saint Elsewhere was major in my life because it was like me, it was so much me, and it was so much.
And it's Bill.
And Bill. Yeah. So it was that characters was very much Bill. Ellen was not really me, but a lot of it was. A lot of it was. And of course, I won 2 Emmys. That was nice. Mm-hmm. That was nice.
On the same night, you two guys did.
And I won one later. I won 2 for saying. Bill won 2 for saying. We have 4, and we have 4 grandchildren, so we got 1 for each.
1 for each. Absolutely. Put that in the will.
Yes, exactly.
Absolutely.
Exactly. So
it's one of those shows that I have only recently. I'm 38. I've only recently been aware of, and it's like this show is a predecessor for so much that came after it in terms of ensemble television, in terms of season over season. You could have episodic TV, but we're also moving into arcs where, this is the characters that we're watching and following are growing before our eyes. They don't reset to 0. And I'm looking forward to sitting down and going through the whole thing. It's a marvelous cast. It's a remarkable group of people. Denzel Washington. I mean,
Denzel was young and he was beginning a movie career, but he did this for he did Saint Elsewhere. He didn't feel he was written that well, but and they were great writers. Tom Fontana heading the cast, the writing group, but they didn't somehow write for him quite right. But he stayed on the whole time because he wanted probably that salary, that steady thing, and that kept him going. And then he moved into all these wonderful movie roles. Bill always said Denzel is meant for the big screen.
Yeah.
Bill always felt that. And I didn't know, but surprisingly, we liked television. Bill liked doing television. Yeah. It's not the same as the theater, but he said that the power you get when you're in the theater is amazing.
Oh, completely different experience. Absolutely.
He said you don't have that instant power. You're doing it, you're doing it for yourself in a way, the small screen, and in theater, you're doing it for everybody out there.
Not to mention out of order. You have to remember where you are and when you are in the material, and then a few months later it gets aired to an audience that you don't get to see in front of you. So.
I did Streetcar Named Desire in stock. I played Blanche, and that is the most intense, incredible experience to do that play. You start in the evening and you think, okay, I'm going to go through this again. I'm going to experience. You experience the whole play from beginning to end. It's exhausting because she is, and it's so brilliant. The writing is so brilliant. And it just takes you along. Right. It just takes you along. Tennessee Williams. I mean, it plays itself
Right?
once you know what you're doing. You know, it kind of plays itself.
You just get on board.
Yes, you get on board the streetcar.
That's right. I just before we get to Stargate, one of the other shows that I grew up on and adored was seaQuest.
Yeah.
And Roy Scheider, who
Yes.
made that role come to life. And you, the politician in charge of the UEO, Madam Secretary General Andrea Dre. What a badass, if I do say so myself.
Yes. I'm good at that.
Oh, you and villains.
Golden Girls. How about Golden Girls?
That's true too. That's true too.
You know, I just did a convention of Golden Girls.
Oh,
and
wow.
Yeah. And they all love to hate me because I was so mean. I was so mean to those nice little Jewish men. I was just a terrible anti-Semite. As a matter of fact, my granddaughter designed a shirt for me the B. Arthur said, "Go to hell." See?
Oh my.
And my granddaughter designed this for me and she got it on the nose. I said, watch the show. And then, can you see it?
Yeah, just lift it up to your face. A little higher. Oh, that's terrific.
Isn't it right?
That's
Isn't
great.
that Barbara Thorndike?
Yes.
Barbara Thorndike. Yes, sir.
Oh my.
Yeah. Anyway, I've got a lot.
Talk about a great
and
cast.
I've also written a book.
Oh.
It's going to be out probably in September. It's called Middle of the Rainbow.
Is this a an autobiography?
Yes, it is, but it's about what you said in the very beginning, how we managed to do.
Yes.
How we managed to do this. And it's also about how women, the changes in women's lives. I've been here 93 years and the changes, the way women have been treated and the changes in it. And now, of course, in this country, as you know, the abortion thing, you know, with Roe versus, incredible. And because I've lived through all of that, you know, and now going backwards, it's kind of amazing. But that's what the book is about, the way men tell women what to do and the way it's changed. But there's a lot of stories in there,
I can't wait. Who's the publisher?
Was it Bear Manor or something like that?
Okay.
It was not easy to get it published.
Okay. How long have you had the manuscript done? Is this something that's
I've
just been finished, or?
Well, it's never if it hasn't been published, you go back to it.
Right.
But I've been writing on it. Some of it was written in the 70s.
Wow.
Some of the stuff was written in the 70s. Actually, the stuff about my boys and the adoption and that was written in the 70s. But anyway, I finally finished it. I had a guy, Lauren Lester, who pushed me to finish it. And I've finished it.
The Middle of the Rainbow.
Middle of the Rainbow.
I can't wait, Bonnie.
Okay.
Please tell me that there is an audio version and that you're reading it.
I think we will. Yes, I think.
Yes. All right. I'm a big audio guy. I spend a lot of time on the road, so that's fantastic. I can't wait.
Okay, good.
All right.
Good. All right.
I want to help publish. I want to help promote this. So when it gets nearer, I am down. This is terrific.
Good.
So good deal. What was it like playing villains? Like, I mean, you mentioned B. Arthur, but opposite Roy Scheider. Roy Scheider. I mean, you know, the great, great characters.
Yeah, he's he was. It's tough to be a villain, you know. I mean, Roy himself is so tough.
Yeah,
he's so strong. You know that you kind of have to just take over. You have to fight him. You have to. He's very strong, as opposed to the Stargate lady who's so lovely. I love her. I love her.
Chameleon. So let's get into Linea. Tell us about what you remember about getting this role.
Well, I was asked to do it, and I went up to I went to Vancouver a lot. I made a lot of movies of the week up there. There was a period of time when movies of the week were very popular, and I made a lot of movies of the week up there. So I knew Vancouver. I love Vancouver. I really like it. And so I went up to do it, and it was I had some technical stuff to do, and that's always hard for me. Technical stuff is hard. Bill can do lawyers and doctors and spiel off that. He can't do it now, but he used to be able to do all that. That's tough for me. I have to really study. So I had a little problem. They came to get me once, and I said, no. I get a 12-hour break. They said, no, in Canada, it's a 10-hour break. I said, I need a 12-hour break. They said, you're in Canada and you have to do 10. I said, you got to give me time to study. I have to work on it. And we had a little altercation about that, but I had to follow their rules. I mean, and I did, but I was annoyed with that. I was really annoyed. The cast was wonderful, especially the lovely lady.
Amanda Tapping.
She was lovely. And so was the lead,
Richard Dean Anderson.
They were all very nice. Oh, and I remember the man I talked a lot with the guy with the bald head, Dean.
Was it Teal'c? So the black gentleman, Christopher Judge?
No.
That with the bald head. Oh, Don S. Davis.
Davis.
General. Yes. May he rest in peace. General Hammond.
He's gone.
Yes,
course.
We lost him a few years ago. Yeah, to a heart attack. But what a amazing human being he was.
Yes,
Everyone who knew him loved him.
Yes, and I remember conversations with him, and offset that were lovely. And as I say, the cast was wonderful. I just had a little technical glitch about the 10-hour turnaround as opposed to the 12-hour turnaround.
Right. We go. That's a union thing. Say again.
That's a union thing.
Understood. Yeah. It's where things get tied up in knots if you're not careful.
Yeah.
This character, Linea, is one of Prisoners is an excellent just cautionary tale of assuming that everyone is in the same position that you are, where the team gets taken to a place where they've been, yes, they have broken a law, but a life sentence for trespassing somewhere. And they go to this place where they meet this marvelous chemist who they assume has also been brought there against her will for one reason or another, but they don't ask any questions. Their only interest is getting out. Yeah. And she helps them with that. She introduces us to cold fusion technology, which we've been trying to get forever. And once we do that, we find out what we have unleashed. What was your view of this person who was really underneath this awful creature with photographic memory and computer skills? There are people out there like that, who you turn your back on them and they'll get you on a dime. What was your interpretation of whoever this person was, Linea?
You know something? I don't know.
Okay.
I don't know. It was like the material was, as I said, the difficult was for me.
Yeah.
The material was difficult for me. And my mind doesn't go in that direction. Do you know? My mind, like you're a big fan of I can tell of all these things. I'm a big fan of people.
Yeah.
I'm a big fan of relationships and people. I can be with somebody for an hour and I can tell you so much about them. But when you're talking about control and chemistry, and it's like another world for me. I'm not there at all as a person. So it's all, and when they go all this made up stuff, my husband loves it. My husband will talk about the stars, and he'll talk about the earth, and he'll give me statistics, and my kids both know a hell of a lot more. I'm really dumb in that area. I'm really unexplored in that area, probably to my regret, but it is not my forte. And that's why I got in trouble about the 10-hour, 12-hour thing. I need time. I don't understand this. I don't even understand it like a high school kid would, who took chemistry and physics and all of that. I don't get it. You know?
Well, Bonnie, let me tell you then, from my perspective and from many of a fan's perspective, you, with the documents and the writers, created a mad scientist that terrified us.
Really?
Yeah, because she is the destroyer of worlds.
Yes.
This is a person who has wiped out at least 2 civilizations that we know of.
That's incredible. I don't understand that. my mind doesn't understand that. Do you know what I mean? It's like what's going on in our country today. I don't understand it. I can't comprehend it. I don't understand that, because I'm really good with people one-on-one. Yeah. And I cannot believe what's going on. I cannot believe it. And that's because
everything's moving very fast now.
Oh, yes. Yes. Because like if I figured out the first 60 years or 70 years of my life at the pace they went, it seemed like everything was normal. Now it's so fast.
Yeah.
Everything is so fast that it's hard to comprehend it. It's just hard to figure it out. And it's hard to keep up.
It is.
It's hard to keep up. One of the things I can't keep up with is the young people and all the different things they're doing. And I'm all for it, but I don't understand it. Do you know what I mean?
Right. Yeah. Everything's in this thing now. Everything.
Yeah. And I think I'm all for it. I'm all for freedom and doing what you want, but I don't understand it.
Yeah. And I think a lot of us are finding ourselves more, to our detriment, I think we're finding ourselves more and more in escapism with media rather than, communicating with each other. But one of the things I really think that Stargate has helped a lot of the people in the group that I associate with do is find one another in the material that you and this team of people created. And the villains are so key to that, because they help us understand who we are, and they help us recognize and see where, if just a twist of fate was different, that's us, and under the right circumstances, it will be us. And that's, I think, what Linea and a lot of villains like her bring to the surface. It's like, just the right amount of this and the right amount of that makes that human being possible.
When I play a part, I always play it like, I look at that and I say, she's a nice lady.
Right. All intents and purposes, she is.
Look at the nice lady on the screen. Look at the nice lady. I do. And I say, oh, don't I look pretty there? Or,
Right.
That's the way I respond. Oh, I'm not modern.
Were you asked to come back to the show?
No.
Because she came back. I don't know if you know this, but the character returned the next season.
That. And I don't think they liked me.
Oh.
I think it was because of the problem with the 10-hour and 12-hour thing.
Okay.
I don't think they liked me. They didn't think I was a company player, I don't think they did. I think they didn't think I was a company. They were unhappy with that. But we did a good show.
A big deal. Okay.
It was a big deal.
Okay.
But we did a good show.
It was a great show.
Yeah, it was a good show. But no, the character came back with another actress. I don't know who it was.
Yes. Her name is Megan Litch. And an experiment went wrong, and she lost her memory, and she was working on a fountain of youth chemical, which worked, but it also took away all their memories. And Linea no longer knew who she was.
Oh my God. I'm glad I didn't have to play that. I would want to play that.
But it was remarkable to watch her performance because she is rediscovering that she's a monster. And so that was an interesting way to play that, because it's like, you know, if you forget what you are, and what you are is pure evil, what do? You know, who do you turn to say, stop me? Or do you even want to?
But then if you're pure evil and you forget that, then you can be good.
And that's how the show ends.
Yes.
You've got it.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
I'm sorry you didn't return. It would have been it would have been wonderful to have you back. And early on in those seasons, you know, the villains, other than the main tribe of villains, the Goa'uld, they were the bad guys. We had a couple of other villains here and there, and you were one of them, and you were delicious. Absolutely remarkable, though. I loved it.
I'm so glad. I'm so glad.
Absolutely. I have a couple of questions, if you don't mind, from fans.
Yep.
What did you, Lockwatcher wanted to know, what did you think of the sets and the props on Stargate compared to some of the other shows you've worked on? Seeing that big gate, that device that you had in your hand that put people, that transformed them and knocked them out and killed one of them.
Oh, that I loved.
Oh, yeah.
That was fun. I was like playing, it was like a kid. I was like a kid playing games.
Absolutely.
I felt absolutely like a kid playing games. You know, that would be a thing I would do when I was little.
Kenyon Moon wanted to know, did you get to contribute to the character at all in the script, or did you just play it as written?
I played it as written.
Okay.
I mean, I play myself.
Right.
Yeah, I'm always myself, but I play what the material is given to me. No, I didn't do any writing. No.
Got it.
Absolutely. And they wanted it exact.
Yeah, those sci-fi shows in particular, you know, when so much goes into it, they have to be right on the money.
That's right. And that's why I like to study.
I see. And you needed the time for that. I understand.
I needed the time to study. Yeah.
General Maximus wanted to know, you have such an illustrious career with so many varied roles. Is there a role or character that you would like to play and have not had the opportunity to do so far?
No, I've done a lot of different, fortunately, very different. I played an alcoholic mother on a show that was very important to me because it was for introducing Al-Anon to the young people. And okay. I really, that I felt was very important. And we won a lot of awards for that show. It was a daytime show.
Okay.
Afternoon special. But I was very proud of that show. And it also gave me a chance to play an alcoholic that I knew a lot about.
Right.
That I know a lot about.
Yeah, I understand. I have to say, your most recent TV appearance is in Better Call Saul.
Yes, I love that.
What a remarkable show. Remarkable show. And as Helen, you know, I think we can all, it even hurts me even to talk about it. I think we can all relate to people, no matter what age we are, being pushed aside and left out because of another person saying terrible things about us or doing terrible things behind our back. Yeah. And
he really hurt me. He hurt me.
Yeah.
I know how that is. Yes. He hurt me. And
he hurt the whole community.
Yeah. But I was able to say to him, you should be so ashamed. You should be so ashamed, you know, and this person who didn't get it at all.
No, he's only interested in himself.
I loved this guy.
Yeah.
I loved this guy. I loved working. I loved being with him. And that he did that to us, all of us.
Mm-hmm. And Saul, in his sick way, loved everyone there, but he still came first, you know, and at least he was good enough as a person to let everyone know the truth so that he could repair the relationship with the woman that he had everyone else cast out. Because we've all been that woman at one point or another in our lives, if at least I certainly have, you know. Mm-hmm. And what a powerful show, you know. Very. That was a good part.
And Bob Odenkirk has a wonderful way of working. You know, he essentially was a stand-up comic.
Yes.
And he can do all that. He can make things very funny if he wants to. And he chooses not to. He chooses for the humor to come from us.
Correct. That's a very gracious lead doing that.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
and Summer wanted to know, Bonnie, your ability to read people in the room and very presence was enough to make us terrified of Linnea's brilliance and unpredictability. And you learned early how to become the character. What is something you know now that you wish you knew younger as a younger actress? What are some of the lessons that you've learned in the later years of your life that what you could really go back and say, kid, this will keep you from stumbling here and there?
Yeah, when I have, maybe because I'm married to somebody who's so funny. Bill never misses a joke. His whole thing in life is to make you laugh. If he goes into therapy, he wants to make the psychiatrist laugh. You know what I mean? Yeah. That's his motive. And I have always felt that I didn't know how, I wasn't good in comedy. I had a disaster in school where I should have been very funny, and I didn't know how to do. I didn't know how to do it, and I thought it was me. I just thought it was me, and I wish that I had learned earlier that I didn't have to do anything differently to say, laugh at me. You just have to find something, I wish I knew that when I was younger and didn't feel intimidated by comedy. I felt intimidated by comedy for a long time, but I did it, and I learned, okay, you can do it. It's the material, and I wish I had known that when I was younger. Yes.
Yeah, you kind of have to just let go and trust that the material is going to carry you. Because you're right. Making people laugh, if you're not some people are good at it by default. But if you're not, it can be intimidating. Absolutely.
It can be because you feel like you're expected to get laughs.
Right.
If you don't get the laughs,
you failed.
You failed. Exactly.
Right.
Exactly. And it isn't that at all. You just have to, I wish I had known earlier on that it wasn't me, that I didn't have a lack, somewhere. That I wasn't in, but that I could do it in my own way. Mm-hmm. And I didn't have to go out and do
exactly
to be funny.
Last question from fans. Marcia Middleton wanted to know: do you have any memories from working on V?
Yeah, I do. I liked that part. I liked the guy who was playing my husband. He was from New York. And I liked him a lot. And one of the strongest memories I have is going in to shoot with one girl and going in the next day with another girl, because the original girl had been killed by her boyfriend. I'll never forget that we just went on.
Do you know in real life?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, my goodness.
Oh, yeah.
And they had to recast on the... Wow. Oh, my.
And they recast a totally different girl, and she appeared the next day. And I'll never forget that.
The show must go on.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
And you as a performer cannot let it come through in the material. No. That's hard.
Yeah. Oh, I was horrified by that. Horrified. But you're kind of in a daze, and you kind of just go into it and you do it, But it was hard. It was shocking.
Yeah. Wow.
I mean, nowadays there's so much that shocks us, but
right, that's true.
There's so much that shocks us now, but it was shocking that we did it. There was attention must be paid. I feel like that's the line from a salesman, but attention must be paid. You couldn't just make a thing of this, but they did. They just went on.
Right.
And that upset me very much.
Wow.
But it was a very good series, and I love it, and I like doing it. And as I say, the guy, I forget his name now, but a wonderful guy that I worked with. mostly, and the young man. I very good series, good job. But
Right.
that kind of broke my heart. What can I tell you? What
It
can I tell
has been such a treat having you on. When I wrote your agent, I was like, shot in the dark, maybe she'd do the show. And the fact that you've come on and shared so much of yourself and your time, not just on Stargate, but on all of these different highlights of television that have helped make up the pantheon of the TV landscape. And it's wonderful to have you. And please tell Bill that his performance as Mr. Feeney was one that I loved coming home to watch, because he really felt like a surrogate professor who cared about me as well as the cast of that crew. That role
And he
was
does.
amazing.
Yes, and he does, because he, as I say, he came to education so late, good in life, but he really reveres it and treasures it, and he really did want to play a teacher who really made a difference. And don't laugh at him. He's,
Yeah.
but he can do both.
Yeah. His last line is
Oh, yeah.
is just kills me. That the kids tell him, you love us more, and they walk out of the room, and he says, "I love you all."
That's right.
Ugh.
That has really become Bill. That
Yeah.
has really become Bill. Yeah.
Bonnie, what a treat. You are a gem. And I'm so excited that your book is coming out, and
Yes,
we're going to help promote that.
Okay.
So this fall, you say?
Yes, by September, I think.
Terrific. I would
Yeah.
I would love to read it and then have you back on to discuss some of it, if you don't mind.
Sure, we'll do that.
That would be terrific. It
Okay.
has meant so much to me to have you on. Thank you for taking up
Well,
your
thank
day
you.
with me.
Thank you.
And you take care of yourself, okay?
I will.
I'm going to wrap up the show. Thank you again. Take care.
Thank you. Thank you.
Bonnie Bartlett, Linea from Stargate SG-1. I am pinching myself. This was so cool to have her on. The Destroyer of Worlds, one of the original villains from the series. And thank you so much for tuning in. I really appreciate everyone who's taken the time to stop in this afternoon and enjoy the show with us. Stargate, excuse me. Let me back up a little bit here. Dial the Gate is brought to you every week for free, and we do appreciate you watching. But if you want to support the show further, buy yourself some of our themed swag. And who's that director there with a certain t-shirt that we have available? Peter DeLuise, everyone. Anyway. Thanks to Peter for submitting that. We're now offering t-shirts, tank tops, sweatshirts, and hoodies for all ages, as well as cups and other accessories in a variety of sizes and colors at dialthegate.com. From the merchandise tab, click on the design to see what items are being offered. Checkout is fast and easy. You can use your credit card or PayPal. Just visit dialthegate.com/merch, and thanks so much for your support. Rainbow Sun Franks is going to be joining us at 2 p.m. Pacific time. It's about an hour from now, so I'm going to run, grab a bite to eat, and then we're going to be back with Rainbow to catch up with him on what he's been doing, to share some more memories from Stargate Atlantis. I really appreciate everyone for tuning in, and I hope you stick around for the next episode with him coming up at 2 o'clock Pacific time. My name is David Reed for Dial the Gate. I appreciate you tuning in, and we'll see you on the other side.